Welcome back. Right now, we have actor, producer Roger Dorman joining us today from Utah, involved in some really big projects as of late. Roger, thanks so much for being here today. How are you?
I'm doing great, and thanks for having me.
Well, looking forward to learning more about you and discussing some of the films that are out. And you have some big things coming as well. So, Roger, before we dig into some of your current projects, I'd love for you to look back at your career and the trajectory that has taken. Was this expected? Was this what you wanted to act and produce?
I've been a businessman almost my entire adult life, and so no, not at all. This has only happened in the last 4 or 5 years that this took place. So just happened to be a meeting I had at a dinner table with a gentleman, and he looked at me and said, "Hey, I've got a movie I'd like you to be in," and it's taken off from there.
Yeah, it's a very interesting transition that it sounds like you didn't see coming. So I'd love to hear a little more about that. What made you decide to go ahead and take that big leap from the business world to acting to Hollywood? And how did you have the courage to do that?
Well, as far as the business goes, fortunately, I own a couple of businesses that are almost self-running. I've got employees that do a great job handling the day-to-day, and that has always freed me up to do and pursue those interests of mine. And I guess I decided to spend a little less time on the golf course and a little more time focusing in a new career. And it was just an opportunity that was given to me. I found that that you hear about it, the acting bug, and that's exactly what it was for me. I just found that I thoroughly enjoyed the process of working with my acting coach. I call it acting therapy. So I was able to get a whole bunch of therapy in with all the other stuff as I tied in various scenes and lines with the emotional obligations that were needed for a particular scene or line or character for that matter. And that's how it all came about. I just fell in love with the whole process.
And what was that first role, if you're open to sharing that information with us? And did it lead to other similar roles?
The first role I got was Constable Leland Ashgrave in the movie Wander, opposite Aaron Eckhart, Tommy Lee Jones, Raymond Cruz, Heather Graham, Catherine Winnick. I mean, it was quite the list.
You're right, quite the list, some big names. Were you intimidated walking into set on those first days, knowing that you were going to be acting with some of these greats?
I was petrified. But my coach, she prepared me for that, and she just said, "Listen, you're going to use this. Your character is angry. He's hurting. He's sad. He's concerned. He's worried. Use that paranoia or that fear or that intimidation and tie it. That's one of the feelings you are feeling. You are feeling intimidated by this situation. So use those exact emotional obligations towards your role." So that's what I did, and
That's
realized that there is no bad feeling on set. You just use it in the scene that you're with.
That's excellent advice. And it's led to many other big films, and one that was just released is called Karen. Tell me more about the role that you play in that particular film.
I am a racist cop who is the older brother to the lead character in the movie Karen. Uh, the movie, of course, is about a Karen, as we all know them to be, who's just up in everybody's business, thinks that she needs to get involved in everything and anything and have her say. And the world needs to run according to how she feels it should be run. And there's an African American couple that moves in next door to her. And at that point, she starts her antics and involves me or my character. And my character is somebody who has anger issues and former prejudices himself, so he's very racist as well. And police brutality ends up becoming involved, and this guy just thinks he's above the law because he's got a secret group of cops backing him and his actions. So it's a interesting scenario on some bad actors in today's world in the area of of law enforcement and such.
And Roger, you do an incredible job portraying this character, very believable. What is it like, though, playing someone, a person that people don't really like?
Well, I think anybody who knows me, and I'll say it myself, not that it means anything, but there's nothing about this character that I'm anything alike. What I had to do is I had to tie emotional obligations and situations from my real life that would bring about the same emotions of someone who would feel hatred and anger and hurt, for that matter. Usually there's always hurt underlying all the other emotions. And I would tie those to the scenes. So I may look like I'm this person who's hating on this actor opposite me, I may be actually thinking about some scenario that really upset me when I was a kid, or something that happened to my child where I was upset at somebody else for doing something to them, or whatever. I used whatever I had in my life in 50 plus years on this planet to tie and to map to the actual scene that was needed.
And there are some really important people that participated in that film, such as well-known trial attorney Ben Crump. What was it like having him there as you portrayed this cop that just wasn't a good person?
Attorney Ben Crump, he's a very nice guy. I had a chance to actually, the set actually gave me some alone time with him to just visit with him and to talk to him and to get to know him a little bit. And I got to say, he's a very passionate person about what he believes. You can tell the difference when someone's ingenuine and not. And he's very much believes in what he's doing. And his is all about equality and fairness. And he stands for what's right. And it was nice to spend a little time with him and get to know his heart and to see for myself that what some may perceive as an act because of other players in the past that were a little bit maybe over the top. Ben Crump is as genuine as they get and deserving of all the accolades and support that he can get to bring about justice in this country.
And this film was directed by Coke Daniels. He mentioned that some of his goals and motivations behind this film is to help spark dialogue and have those conversations around racial injustice. Do you think the film did just that?
Well, it depends on who you talk to. Yeah, certainly the film, there is that element of humor where there's almost over the top, too much on point moments portrayed by Taryn Manning, but that was by design. It wasn't necessarily designed to be exactly like life, so much as it was to point out obvious things that are clear trigger points or hurtful things to various minority groups in this country. And so what I've told people is, I said, it's not going to be like any movie you've seen before. It's going to be something that may make you uncomfortable. You may not even like parts of it, or may scoff at, or may roll your eyes at. Take a look at yourself. It's one of those introspective kind of films that you realize, in spite of its audaciousness and its aggressiveness on this topic, the whole point is to bring to light real issues and real scenarios that happen every day.
And you've played police officers before. Do you enjoy playing cops?
That's just coincidental. I mean, I enjoy acting, and it happens to be that those were the roles that were presented. The next several roles that I'm going to be in, that I've already cast in, are going to be very different.
Well, that's exciting. We're looking forward to seeing more about that. And how do you feel your roots in Utah have helped you accomplish your goals within the acting, producing world?
Well, Utah is a very competitive state. Everybody is constantly pushing for better and more and perfection and whatever. You know, the culture here, with the LDS background and so on, all of those things are all part of who I am and what I'm about. And so for me, if I can be a part of projects that bring light and improve the world and share art and bring a smile to somebody's face, that's incredible. You know, the producing side also presented itself to me around the same time the acting side did. So to just be a part of something like this and to continue to be invited to other projects is incredible.
Roger, how can we watch Karen, and where can we get more information about you and follow along with your career and your next projects?
Karen is on Amazon right now. Also, I believe it was for the longest time the #1 downloaded iTunes video as well, movie, and other streaming devices. I want to say Vudu also is offering it, and so on. So there's several streaming devices you can get to it right now. It was on BET for a while, but I think that's passed. So I think the best bet is to look for it in various streaming devices, and you can just type in the word Karen and it should pop right up.
And how can we follow along with you and everything that you're doing?
If you're familiar with imdb.com, that is kind of the platform that all actors, producers, directors, anybody in the entertainment industry uses to display all of the work they're involved in. So you can certainly go there, type in my name, Roger Dorman, and look it up, or you can search just by one of the movies I was in Karen or Wander, and it will also pop up and you'll be able to see it there. Also on Instagram, you can follow me at roger.dorman.
Well, thank you so much, Roger Dorman, for joining us today. I really appreciate this conversation and hope that you will come back on Park City Television once again and tell us about some of your future projects. We'll be back with more here on Mountain Connections right after this.